Hey guys, Adrian Shepherd here, and today I thought I'd spice things up by doing a vlog. Now if you're wondering where I am, I'm at a park just outside my house, and it's pretty chilly, so I'm wearing my nice warm jacket, and I've got my cap on. So anyway, what have I got for you today? Well, I came across an article on the web the other day that I found of some interest, and I thought I'd share it with you and give you my comments on it. The title was 7 Things Highly Productive People Do. Now, I'm sure whoever was ever interviewed for this article has read Steven Covey's landmark classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But they weren't exactly the same 7 points, so I thought I'd give you them and see if you could put them into use. The first was work backwards from goals to milestones to tasks. Essentially, this is basically you have your dream, what you want to accomplish. And you have to think about what would be the step just before that, and then what would the step be before that, and you work your way backwards until you get down to the simplest things, and then you take action on these. When we have big goals, we often get overwhelmed and just think we'll never be able to do them, and that's the problem. We never do. But if there's small things that are simple, easy to do, that take maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes time, we can do those. So that's the goal, is to break things down into the simplest components and take action on those. And each of those will build up into your eventual dream or goal, because dreams, as we know, usually stay dreams. That's the problem. So, take your dreams, break them down into goals, and get started. Number 2 was stop multitasking. Now, this one I'm kind of 50-50 on. The reason I say that is he says that if you change tasks 10 times a day, that it's the equivalent to being stoned. Now, I can't talk about that because I have no experience, but what I can say is that I've found that if you can find 2 tasks that won't affect each other drastically, they can be done at the same time. My number 1 example of this is exercise and study. What I do is I watch TV. That's my studying. So I watch business DVDs or lectures or things like that. And yoga. Now I could as well just watch TV and watch something entertaining. That would work just as well. And I sometimes do that as well. It just depends on how quickly I need to get things done and if I've got something that I really want to watch. But in that case, it doesn't detract from my yoga, and it really doesn't detract from my studying or my entertainment. So I really encourage you to do things like that. You know, when you go to the gym, you see a lot of people, riding the bicycles, and that's great. And they listen to music. I get it. Why not listen to something beneficial? Maybe a marketing program or sales techniques. Anything you can put in there that give you an edge on life, why not? Take advantage of it. Okay, number 3, be militant about eliminating distractions. Now, this is a good one because we as human beings like to be distracted. In fact, we have a word for it. It's called procrastination. College students know this better probably than anyone. But even as people in the workforce have the same problem too. They're doing their work on a computer, their phone buzzes, they quickly check it, the phone rings, they pick up that, someone calls over, they stand up. They've abandoned their original task. The key is to remove as many things that take time away from what we need to accomplish. One thing that can be done is if you have an office, close the door. Turn off your phone. If it's really that important to get done, then you can't have any distractions, including phone calls. But as I know, most people don't turn off the phone, so at least turn it on to silent mode. And then only pick up if you designate certain people. Don't just pick up maybe from your friend or your brother or something like that, but you say, hey, I'm going to devote this time to my task, and that's it. And only these 3 exceptions. If my boss calls, if this person calls, or that person calls, then I will pick up the phone. Other than that, you don't touch it. Simple, but it's important. Number 4 was, schedule your email. I know. I love to get email. The you've got mail concept, yep, I love it. I feel wanted, I feel needed, I feel appreciated. But the problem is it takes you again away from your task at hand. You're doing something. Sometimes you're getting things done really quickly, and email pops up, and you leave it, and you go to this email, and it takes you away from your zone. You were in the zone. You were getting things done. Why take away from that opportunity that you were given? You know, check your email or turn on the computer when you need to. Set certain times a day that you're going to check your email. When you have other things you need to do, then do those when you need to do them. This is a killer for most people. Okay, number 5 was, use your phone. The author talked about how you don't have a conversation via email. You know, pick up the phone and talk to them if you need to talk to them. I'm of the mind that the first time you give them a call and you let them know what the deal is, and then after that you follow up by emails. The reason I recommend emails is because you've got evidence, you've got reminders, you can recheck and confirm every little detail because you don't want to make a mistake. So I found this to be extremely valuable and important, and I encourage you all to use email more. The problem with using the phone is you get distracted again. You go off into tangents. And another thing about using the phone, I will say, is if you're making a business call, plan it. You know, jot down things that you want to talk about and keep the phone call to those things. If something really important comes up, great, fine, but go through your things like a plan. You know, saves you so much time. Highly recommended, that one. Number 6, work on your own agenda. This again deals with distractions. Too often during the business day, other people want our time. You know, your distributors, your co-workers, your bosses. People are pulling you left, right, and center. And the problem with this is, again, you don't get your stuff done. Now, people sometimes don't consider your situation. So it's important that you tell people when you're busy that you don't have time to do things for them. Even if it's your boss, you just have to say, hey, I really need to get this done. Could you give me 30 minutes? Can I get to your thing afterwards? It might be tough with some bosses, but many bosses will appreciate your honesty. And the problem is, if you don't tell them the truth and you accept their tasks, then you're slowed down and you might be slow with their project as well because you're distracted. So it's a no-win situation, and you want to try and avoid this at all costs. The 7th and last point was work in 60 to 90-minute intervals. Now, this is pretty simple because we get tired. Sitting in front of a computer screen with our shoulders down, we get a lot of tightness in our lower back and our shoulders and our eyes. So if you just get up every 60, 90-minute stretch, walk around, take a little break, this is great. The only problem with this is that you're taking time out of your work schedule, so that has to be made up somewhere. Maybe you stay late sometime, or work through your lunch hour, whatever. This is a way to go home not feeling completely worn out at the end of the day. But I admit, it's not always possible. So, play it by ear and see how things go. Well, that's it for this vlog. I hope you found it useful. I recommend you check out the article. Just type in the title and you'll find it, and see what the author says. I told you a little bit more, but hopefully that will do it. So, good luck using those techniques in your work and daily activities, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.